deuxième but, Cole Evans. Le numéro 29, number 29, the first baseman, le joueur de premier but, Eru Drave. Le numéro 3, number 3, the center fielder, le motiveur de centre, P.K. Bishop. Le numéro 6, number 10, the right fielder, le motiveur de droite, Vincent Harris. Le numéro 12, number 12, the shortstop, Mexico, Dante Matakatea. Le numéro 18, number 18, the designated player, le joueur désigné, Louis Gerard. Le numéro 23, number 23, the catcher, le receveur, Connor Keaton. Le numéro 50, number 50, the third baseman, le joueur de troisième but, Maddox Rice. Le numéro 1, number 1, the pitcher, le lanceur, Ethan Johnston. And the substitutes for New Zealand, les joueurs substituts pour la Nouvelle-Zélande. Le numéro 19, number 19, Blake Radford. Le numéro 44, number 44, Bradley Bennett. Le numéro 16, number 16, Luke Bowers. Le numéro 24, number 24, Jackson Watt. Le numéro 27, number 27,
I borrowed some
Fraser
socks.
McLaren. Le numéro 22, number 22, Nopera Stockford. Le numéro 77, number 77, Tiwana Aranui. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Thomas Makia, and the rest of the coaching staff. The umpires for today's game, les arbitres du match d'aujourd'hui. The home plate umpire from Canada, l'arbitre au marbre du Canada, Scott McLaren. The first base umpire from Canada, l'arbitre au premier but du Canada, Terry Ricker. The second base umpire from Argentina, l'arbitre au deuxième but de l'Argentine, from the United States, Larry Tate. The third base umpire from Botswana, l'arbitre au troisième but du Botswana, Abel Mataboge. Right field umpire from the Netherlands, l'arbitre au champ droit des Pays-Bas, Bob Rieskens. The left field umpire from New Zealand, l'arbitre au champ gauche de la Nouvelle-Zélande. From Czech Republic, Vladimir Lis. In honor of good sportsmanship, the players will now shake hands and exchange. En honneur de l'esprit sportif, les joueurs se donneront main dans la main.
Hello and welcome to the gold medal game between Argentina and New Zealand here today at the Pepsi Softball Center. Argentina taking a 3-1 win over Japan just half an hour ago. It would go to extra innings. Argentina would win with a home run in the ninth. It will be Roman Godoy taking the mound for them today. Now New Zealand, they beat Argentina yesterday 3-1. They'll be looking to do that again here today. It will be Ethan Johnston on the mound. He pitched 7 innings yesterday. He'll be looking to silence the bats of Argentina again here today. With their thoughts on the game, we'll send things to our commentators Kyle Smith and Lance Wynn in the broadcast booth.
Thanks a lot, Adrian. As you look on, there are the New Zealand supporters. And ladies and gentlemen, the grand final, we're set to go. For one last time, from Whitehorse, Yukon, you'll get to see the haka. The teams are set. The challenge has been thrown down here from Whitehorse Yukon. Kyle Smith and Lance Wynn here with you on a overcast, cool day here in the ball yard. Already one game in the books. Lance, the grand final ready to go. It's a rematch from the 1-2 page playoff. Argentina, New Zealand. Argentina coming off that big win, Lance. Do we see a letdown or do we see a build-up off of the walk-off home run?
Well, I would say normally that you might see a letdown if there was a day between games, but right now I think they're going to ride that high right into this gold medal final. It was a walk-off from Gonzalo Masmu. They have now what they wanted, a chance to defend their championship and avenge yesterday's loss. Himu Mata was outstanding going 7. Roman Godoy took over for the 8th and the 9th. They have the momentum. It's going to be tough to slow them down. They haven't made many changes except for the fact that Godoy will get the start. So I expect them to be ready to go when we get set to go.
When you flip the script and you look at the team coming in just fresh as a daisy and you look at Team New Zealand, do they hold the edge? Do they have that mental advantage over top of Argentina with Ethan Johnson back on the mound? Or is it kind of a reverse and Argentina being hot and ready to go, maybe take an inning or two for New Zealand to get fired up?
Well, good question, Kyle, and that's tough to say. Now, they're definitely rested, but they're not warm, and that may play a role. Argentina just played 9 innings, so fatigue could set in later with that. Ethan Johnston, all but untouchable in that 3-1 win, and you know what? He struck out 11 and used his changeup sparingly. That's important. I expect to see a lot of the change, and I expect Ethan Johnson to be just as effective today.
So for the batting order in Argentina as they come in trying to defend their title, it's Alan Piquet who leads things off. Liguan Angiolillo will bat second. Tio Migliavaca back in the 3 spot. Facundo Carrillo will bat 4th. Roman Godoy is the 5 hitter. Hemio Mata bats 6th. 7 hitter is the hero from the first one today, Gonzalo Masmu, the mighty Masmu. Matias Zapata bats 8th. And the 9 hitter is Franco Hortelado. Defensively for New Zealand, it's Callum Elson, Tika Hui Bishop, and Vincent Harris left to right across in the outfield. Maddox Rice plays at 3rd. Dante Matacotia will be at shortstop. Cole Evans, the second baseman. Eru Drage will play at 1st. Connor Peden behind the plate. And as we said, Ethan Johnston gets the start. Swinging strike for a 1-1 count. As we're just getting underway here in the grand final, the gold medal up for grabs here in Whitehorse. Hot shot, nice play by Matacartia. Not in time as an infield single. Drage trying to find that bag, had to hustle back after pinching in. And the leadoff man gets on base.
And Kyle, there was an example there. We just spoke about a team being ready, but warm. And that's exactly what Argentina is. It's like to them, they just had a wee little bit of a break and they're back on the diamond. So give them a bit of the advantage early on, at least as far as getting into the game goes.
So Liguan Angiolillo, he'll take for ball 1 in the dirt. Identical lineup as we saw back in the game against Japan. Japan, a heartbreaking defeat. They'll take home the bronze medal. And that one comes to the corner for a strike. It's been since 1997 that New Zealand has played for the gold medal, coming up short against the Aussies. Taking home the silver. It's been a long haul coming back for the Black Sox, this Temper Zone Junior Black Sox team. They go 8-1 over the course of round robin. They win the 1-2 page playoff 3-1 yesterday. And that one going to come and get a piece of Angiolillo. So contrast the start yesterday for Johnston. First 2 men get on yesterday. It was strikeouts back to back.
Well, a little different ball game here. The pressure's on. Everything's on the line here. There is no 1-game cushion for you to fall back on. So a bit of a different scenario for Ethan Johnston here today.
So nobody down and runners on 1st and 2nd. He'll face the 3, 4, 5 hitters now. Migliavaca will come to the plate. Tio switch things up and he comes to the 3 spot. We talked about it off the top in the first game today, Lance, about how Gamarchi's switched the lineup and dropped Migliavaca to the 3 spot. Mata falls to the 6 hole and move up Carril and Godoy by 1 space each.
Well, you like that change, Kyle, and it certainly paid off for them in their big win over Japan. But he looks comfortable there, and he can certainly make contact. So a very good move, and there have been some tinkering with the lineup, and they're here in the gold medal round. So give Argentinians some credit.
Right back up the middle. Got to hustle Bishop. He'll get the wave around, throw to the plate, well offline. 1 run comes in to score. 2 runners in scoring position as Migliavaca comes up with an RBI single.
And I think that's the case. One team is warm, one team is not. They just coming off an emotional win.
And Argentina is fired up as they greet Piquer as he comes off the diamond. And Jared Martin now will head on out for a quick defensive conference.
Good job of base running as seeing that throw aired out a bit by Bishop. The runners will move up an extra base. So now with nobody out, you've got runners on 2nd and 3rd.
And it's Blake Radford who's getting loose down in the warm-up area for Team New Zealand. Angiolillo at 3rd. And Carril going to lift that up and out of play. So if you're just getting in with us for this final contest from Whitehorse, it's a single for Piquer, hit batter on Angiolillo, and then an RBI single for Migliavaca, and a little settle down session for Facundo Carril. So both coaches take a conference early with their players.
And I think that's important to do, particularly on the New Zealand side. You see Argentina come flying out of the gates. You have to find a way to slow them down just a wee bit because they're riding on a high right now.
So 0-1 the count. And that one to the corner for strike 2. Big chance here for Argentina to jump up and hit the Black Sox right in the face with a couple runs to serve notice that they're ready to go for this final. That rise ball misses.
And Kyle, I expect New Zealand, it's going to be a couple innings before they kind of settle in, find a bit of comfort. This is a big game, a lot of pressure.
And up and out for ball 2. 2-2. Standing room only here at the Pepsi Softball Center. They're around the outfield fence all the way around. Foul pole to foul pole here on day 10. Give that a lift out on the left side, under it, and the throw to the plate cut off by Drage as Callum Elson will make the grab.
Good fundamental outfielding there. Charged the ball in time, and Mateus Zapata had the footwork going. I'm sorry, Callum Elson had the footwork going and able to get a good throw in, not allowing Angiolillo to score from 3rd.
So 1 down in the inning, still threatening to open this game up. Already 1 run across. Looking for those 2 more that stand on the bases.
See if Godoy can get on track here. 0 for 3 in the earlier ball game.
Check the swing. Didn't go. The umpires for this afternoon in this grand final. It's Scott McLaren from Canada working the plate. Terry Richter over at first base, also from Canada. United States Larry Tate is at second. third base umpire Abel Metaboje from Botswana. Down the right field line, it's Bob Gieskins as that little roller on the right side, foul just by a hair. As Gieskins from Netherlands works down on right. Left field line is Valdemir Lis from the Czech Republic. And on the 22nd clock, it's Thomas Lahnert from Germany. Johnston doesn't like the ball that he has, so he'll exchange that one for something different. New Zealand supporters trying to fire up their squad. Clamp this down. Swung on, not a high fly ball carrying to center. Back goes Bishop, makes the grab against the wall. One run going to come in. The wheel around, throw to the plate, and Migliavaca back in to third. 2-0 for Argentina.
And without any wind, you can bet that ball is over the fence for a home run. Good grab out there by Bishop. Did a good job of finding the wall, making the grab, and got a good throw to get it back in time.
So with 2 down in the inning, it's Himio Mata, the first baseman this afternoon. He pitched 7 strong for Argentina in the semifinal against Japan. Was relieved by Godoy for the 8th and 9th. It'll be Roman Godoy who gets the start here for Argentina, and Mata going to lift that one up on the left side. Tracking over is Elson. He can't make a play as it goes out of play.
And I don't think the leash could get any shorter than it will today. Of course, it was Johnston that shut down this hard-hitting Argentinian lineup yesterday.
Well, we talked yesterday about, last night over dinner, about who do you come back with. And the consensus around the table was come back with Johnston until Argentina shows you they can make contact and put the ball in play against them. Well, they've done just that here in the first inning, so we'll see what we do moving forward, as that one will miss for a ball. But you're right, Lance, I don't think it's going to get much longer for Ethan Johnston.
No, and I think it's a good coaching move. You got to. He did his job yesterday.
2-1, and Mata going to lift that up. Back goes Elson. He's got plenty of room to make the grab for the third out of the inning. So a trio of long flies to end the inning, but they score 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom half of the first. It's 2-0 Argentina. Back with you on Sports Canada TV, live from the Pepsi Center in Whitehorse, Yukon. Kyle Smith and Lance Wynn from Ballpark Radio. Setting the lineup for Team New Zealand as the supporters play a bit of a game of beach ball here in the stands. Callum Elson will lead things off. Cole Evans in the 2 spot. Eru Drage will bat 3rd. Tikarhui Bishop in the cleanup spot. Vincent Harris bats 5th. Dante Matakartia will bat 6th. Louis Gerard will bat 7th. 8-hitter is Connor Peden behind the plate. And the 9-hitter is a 3rd baseman, Maddox Rice. Identical lineup, Lance, to the one we saw yesterday. And defensively for Argentina, it's how they ended the first game with Zapata, Piquer, and Carrillo left to right across in the outfield. Liguan Angiolillo will play at third. Franco Ortolato will be at short. Gaston Suarez, the mainstay at the two-bag here this week, only had a handful of at-bats yesterday, or the day before, Friday afternoon in the game-ending round-robin portion. Himio Mata will play first. Tio Migliavaca behind the plate, and Roman Godoy keeps warm, and he'll get the start here after going too strong in the 8th and 9th against Team Japan. So for Team New Zealand, a response is in order as they fall down 2-0 in the first inning. We set off air, Lance, that with Ethan Johnson on the mound, he's going to have to feature that changeup just maybe a little earlier than the fourth.
Yeah, and he's been kind of keeping it tucked in his back pocket until, midway point, or at least the second time through the order. This time, though, you got to figure Argentina's already been raring to go. They've already played a game. So no sense in you holding on to that. It's a one-game, winner takes all.
Well, I mean, that and the fact that you faced them yesterday. They've already been through the order 2-3 times, so you have to keep that in your mind. He didn't offer the changeup a lot yesterday, so it'd be a new look, different look. And right now it's about who makes that adjustment first coming into this ball game, as quickly Godoy will even things up at 1-1. Little off speed and up the line. Angiolillo in time at first. One down in the inning.
I don't even know how Elson actually got a bat on that ball. That was a low pitch.
Same start to the first one here this afternoon, Lance, as that up the line 5-3 like Japan had. Yesterday in the game, the action happened in the third. So Argentina gets up and marks twice in the leadoff inning, picking up the offense from their start earlier today.
And I think on a day like this, that's going to bode well for Argentina.
Well, one pitch comes in for ball one.
And a good play by Ortolato to get the Speedy Evans at first.
That'll be a confidence builder for him, Lance, after a bit of a shaky start in the semifinal.
I agree, and he can build on that flawless performance earlier today. But you're absolutely right. Taking that first ground ball in the gold medal game certainly goes a long way to adding to your comfort.
Gets the butterflies out of the stomach. Eru Drage looks to turn to bunt, and he'll take for ball one. Migliavaca looks back to McLaren and wonders where that one missed, says down. And again misses to run it to 2-0. Drage in this Black Sox squad littered with power and speed throughout the lineup 1 through 9. As Godoy punches in for strike one. Ball 3-1.
And you see Godoy certainly not wasting any time, utilizing all his pitchers and giving the New Zealanders a different look.
Take a full complement of pitches. And that one comes across for strike two. So the count runs full at 3-2. And a swing and a miss. Down and out they go. Drage down on strikes. And down go the New Zealand Junior Black Sox here in the bottom of the first inning. We'll come back with the second after this.
So the ISF is headquartered in Plant City, Florida. The ISF is a member of the World Baseball Softball Confederation, or WBSC, the world governing body for the sport, which is recognized by the International Olympic Committee and Sport Accord, formerly the General Association of International Sports Federation. Softball, or women's fast pitch, made its Olympic debut at the 1996 Games in Atlanta. And there are 127 affiliated countries in the ISF and millions of participants in the sport worldwide.
So as we come back into the Pepsi Softball Center, it's a fly ball by Masmu for a quick out here in the top half of the second.
Certainly what you want if you're Ethan Johnston in New Zealand. A good quick out to sort of slow down this Argentinian roll.
Zapata pops one to the right side for a one-out single.
Now the thing is that the entire team is warm and ready to go. So 1 through 9, you have to watch and pitch too carefully.
So runner over at first. That one gets sent up on the infield, sky high. Manacartia backpedaling for it, and he'll make the grab, as I'm sure the wind swirling around up top. But sticks with it for out number 2.
Well, we know, Kyle, that the wind's been swirling here all week. It's played a factor, or been a factor, in all the ball games. Today, of course, a little cooler, wind blowing a little harder. So sometimes a bit of an adventure out there.
And slashing at that one, Piquet diving for it, makes a sliding catch. Callum Elson almost barehanded it, it looked like. And it does the job for out number 3. After that one out single, it's up and down as we go to the bottom half of the second. It's a good thing, because if it went by him, that's an IP inside the Parker. You got to leave her hands available, though. You almost need a Snuggie. Back to the bottom half of the second inning as we slide in, and it gets a little cooler here in Whitehorse. You'd almost think it might start to snow.
Watch your language, Kyle, please. We're on the air.
And Godoy opens with strike 1 to Tikarhui Bishop.
I think it's July when I last checked, but boy, oh boy. I guess if we can dodge the rain, I think that will be a good thing.
And that one misses for ball 1. We had rain pretty much throughout the entire semifinal game between Japan and Argentina. And on the plate for strike 2, 1-2. 2-0 in favor of Argentina as they jumped out to a quick lead in the first inning, picking up right where they left off after that walk-off semifinal. And down swinging is Bishop.
Well, Kyle, you can just see the difference. And normally when two teams start off as in their first games of the day, you can see that they're kind of both at equal speeds in the way they react. You can tell Argentina is just a little bit quicker, a little bit more alert, a little bit more game speed than New Zealand.
And Harris going to fight that one off. No man's land. Falls in for a base hit. Will bring the New Zealand supporters to their feet. And a one-out single. Maybe that's what turns this tide for New Zealand. Got to remember, yesterday, 3 runs on no hits.
You are right about that, Kyle. And they're able to manufacture runs. And when you can do that without getting hits, that's impressive. Vincent Harris has impressed me all week, either at the leadoff spot or batting in the 5-hole.
So Dante Matacartia now at the plate as he takes for ball 1. They've been aggressive on the bases all week here in Whitehorse, this New Zealand squad. See what Thomas Makia has cooked up for the grand final. Bunning right on through for a strike.
Well, I don't think that's such a bad idea, Kyle. You make the defense work a little bit, and at the same time, if you can get that runner in scoring position and chip away with a run, that makes a big difference.
Swing and a miss, drop ball to the bottom for strike 2, 1-2. Missing with ball 2, 2-2. Matacartia choked up on the bat just a little bit. Trying to get around a little quicker on the hard stuff from Godoy. He'll take for ball 3 and run it up full at 3-2. Good eyes there. We saw the Argentine squad go chasing rise balls in the semifinal. Right now, though, New Zealand being able to lay off. And ball 4. So a single and now a walk for New Zealand. Puts runners on first and second and brings Louis Gerard to the plate.
Look, a chance here for New Zealand to kindly sort of shake out the cobwebs and get up into game speed.
So a defensive conference with the pitching coach of Argentina.
This event would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors and funding partners, including our premier sponsor.
The other thing we haven't talked about yet, Lance, with the 2 runs in the first, that takes the New Zealand cheer squad and supporters out of this ball game. Just like how Japan took the Aussies out of the game.
And you have to understand, these are young ball players, and that kind of adrenaline that's going through and the crowd support, that plays a role on those guys out there. And it can help you if they're cheering in your favor, but it can certainly work against you if they're not.
So conversation over and Godoy ready to work. Comes back with strike 1. So the conference pays off to get the opener. Looked at Bunning, taking for strike 2. As Gerard lets that one go right down Main Street. Oh, 2 count now. Swing and a miss. Got him up on the rise. 2 down in the inning. 3 strikeouts here for Godoy. And Connor Peden now will come to the plate. Peden, the mainstay behind the plate this week.
Peden's been outstanding behind the dish.
And at the knees for a strike. We're going to check a swing. Didn't go, so the count stays at the plate, 1-1. And Lance, you look at that back foot of Connor Peden. It is as far back as you can go, right on the white chalk line, maybe even half and half to the backside.
That's to get just a fraction of a second longer look.
And he's going to send that up. In comes Carril. He'll take over, and underneath of him goes Piquet to get out of the way, so a fly out to end the inning. So Strand the single in the walk. And after 2, it's 2-0 in favor of Argentina, as we'll send it field level with Adrian South. Adrian?
All right, thanks, guys. I'm joined by Yonori. She is the host for Team Argentina. What does that mean? What does hosting mean?
Oh, it's a great experience, and also they are right now in the finals, and I'm so happy about that, and also hosting them too.
So hosting, you said, means taking them around to different places in Whitehorse to see. Where are some of the places you've taken them?
We went to Carcross, where is Esmeralda Lake, and also visit that dessert, the small in the world. And we went to Walls Creek, and we have a barbecue there. They enjoy. We did the marshmallows by the fire, and they were so surprised, and was the first time that they had the experience to be in the barbecue in Canada.
And what would it mean for you to see them win here today, to win gold?
Oh, more happy than right now I am, and also to win in Yukon and the nice place that we have, and I hope that they have great memories to bring back to their home.
All right, well, thank you very much. I will send things back to Lance and Kyle in the broadcast booth.
Thanks, Adrian. As we move into the top half of the third inning, it's the New Zealand Junior Black Sox, Temper Zone Junior Black Sox, who make the first move, and that is a pitching change as they will bring in number 19, Blake Radford.
And I think that's a good move, Kyle. A few hard-hit balls, even in the first inning. You look at Carril, Godoy, and Mata, and all of those were hard-hit balls. So it'd be a wise decision to give Ethan Johnston his time. He certainly did his job, and it's time for Radford to take over and do his.
It was Radford who threw for Team New Zealand in the round robin game. He took the loss in that ball game. So they've seen him once before. See how they adjust now with a different look from the tall right-hander. Doesn't throw as hard as Ethan Johnston, but offers all the tools with his pitch selection.
Maybe tough for him to come on in and find that strike zone. Angela Lilo's strike zone is minuscule.
So Liguan was hit by a pitch his first time at the plate. Came around and scored the second run for Argentina. Argentina trying to repeat as junior world champs after they won the title at home in Paraná, Argentina in 2012. And a swing and a miss. Heavy cut, feet moving. Right on through goes Angiolillo. And it runs up full at 3-2.
Certainly a free swinger. I don't think he should have taken that bat off his shoulder with a pitcher struggling to find the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. Off speed and down goes Angiolillo for the first out.
And that's probably a direct result in being undisciplined. at the plate.
So Teo Migliavaca comes to the plate after his single back in the first, drove in the first run. Argentina leads this by a score of 2-0. And that one into the dirt. Radford trying to find his way through this third inning, on in relief from Ethan Johnston. And ball 2.
And Kyle, with that little chill in the air, it's going to take pitchers a little bit longer to get sharp.
Hot shot on the 5.5 spot, and Migliavaca 2 for 2 today here this afternoon in the gold medal game.
2 solid hits too, no doubters.
Now batting for Argentina, we know about the Johnson. The number sign number 5, the right fielder, Facundo Carril.
So now Facundo Carril will come to the plate. Had the fly out to left field in the first. Swing and a miss by Carril.
That's the first awkward swing we've seen out of Carril today. So not sure if he was fooled by that pitch or just maybe not ready.
And off the plate for ball 1. Count up even at 1-1. Man out at first is Migliavaca. And another inside pitch. Let that go fair. Tag on to first and up to second rolls Migliavaca.
That was quite a bounce. You saw that from, we have the perfect vantage point. That ball bounced 3 times foul, and on the third hop, jumped fair.
Give Drage some credit to not jump on that early, as he takes the out unassisted. So 2 down in the inning. What looked as though just a little roller foul. And nice handle by Matacartia on to first to end the inning. So what looked maybe to be a promising start, all of a sudden you're out of the jam. And we head to the home half of the third. New Zealand coming to the bat, down 2-0. Back with you on a cool Sunday afternoon that eventually will turn into early evening here in Whitehorse. Maddox Rice will lead things off for Team New Zealand as they try to come back trailing by a score of 2-0. Rice, the 9-hitter, started up a little higher in the lineup, gradually has been falling to the 9 spot, but his defense and bat have kept him in the lineup. Won the contest and took over about midway as the mainstay at third here this week. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Great location on that pitch. That was a drop ball inner half of the plate. And to a big guy like Rice, there's no way he's going to be able to get a bat on it.
And misses for ball one. Off speed by Godoy, sent up. In comes Suarez. He'll make the grab for out number one. And turn over the lineup now to Callum Elson in the top of the order.
See what New Zealand can do now, second time through the order.
Who makes the adjustments? Didn't see a lot of changes from Godoy, so he's got that to offer. As that pitch will go outside for ball one. It's Elson and Evans, the 1-2 hitters still due here. And pops the 3.5 hole as Elson rounds into first. He takes a wide turn and now back into the bag with the 1-out single. Just took what he was given, Lance.
Good piece of hitting there. That was a low drop ball too, so head down, bat through the zone, and a solid single to right.
So Evans grounded out in the first inning. Called for a strike. And can't hold up on the rise for strike two. Evans missed the first couple of games with a hand injury. Was in the lineup for the opening night against Australia and then was lifted just before game time. And a little roller. Angelillo on to second. He'll take the lead of Elson. 5-4. 2 down. It wasn't until about Wednesday when we saw Evans back in the lineup and he was striking home runs with the best of them.
Yeah, hand seemed to be okay when he came back.
And now Eru Drage at the plate, the first baseman, utility man, off and running. Angelillo up to first, and a clean inning. So after the fielder's choice, get out of the single, we'll go to the top half of the fourth. Argentina still up 2-0 on Sports Canada TV. Back to work here in the fourth inning. It'll be Huemu Omada who comes to the plate. And first pitch, back to the mound. On to first, nice and easy, 1-3.
Now the question will be, Kyle, we spoke about Argentina being warm already and in game mode, so to speak. The question will be whether or not New Zealand can get up into game mode before this game is done. As you can see right now, Argentina going to be tough with this 2-run lead.
Well, they protected leads well all week, only trailed a handful of times. And you're right, Lance, for New Zealand, they've got to get something going here in the not too distant future. Maybe got a mark here in the 4th when they come to the plate, as Gonzalo Masmu will get his second look, first time with Blake Radford, as that one comes for a strike.
And I think when you see Masmu in the batter's box and you haven't seen him hit the ball, you think, wow, this guy doesn't really have a whole lot of size. But then you see him take a rip at the ball, and you can see why he has hit a few home runs here at this tournament this week.
Well, he had the biggest one in Argentina play this week with that walk-off home run in the semifinals to catapult them into this game. We found out after the game, though, from someone out in center field that the center fielder Shimpei had a glove on it, just deflected off as it went just a hair too far, and that was the ball game.
Well, if his arm was just, say, an inch or two.
And that one given a charge out to center. Bishop got some room to make the grab for out number 2. So second time Masmu's gone to the deepest part of the ballpark for 2 down in the inning.
I like the way Bishop played that. Obviously an experienced center fielder. You turn, you go back, you go to the spot where you think it's going to land, you find the wall, turn, and there it is. And he just put it on a clinic on how to field a deep shot to straightaway center.
So Matias Zapata at the plate. He takes for strike 1. Single back in the second inning. Trying to extend this to Ortolado so that you can get to the top of the inning, top of the batting order to lead things off in the 5th. Radford on in relief from Ethan Johnston. He went 2 innings, just didn't seem to have what he did 24 hours ago. As Zapata sends that one back to the wall, find that fence again, and brushes right up against the railing for out number 3.
Kyle, a clinic, going to his left, turning to his right. Either way, Bishop, fundamentally sound.
So we'll head to the break and come back with the bottom half. New Zealand got to get something going. Down 2-0. New Zealand supporters trying to get the boys going, trying to get themselves a little noise. It'll be Tikarui Bishop who will lead things off. Struck out back in the second inning. And we talked about it, Lance. All of a sudden we find ourselves in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Well, it's getting late and it's doing it very quickly. So good time now for the junior Black Sox to first get a base runner and second push a run across to at least cut into this deficit.
The other thing, no signs of Godoy slowing down. And that one into the dirt, misses for ball 2. He's got 2 innings under his belt when he started this one. So he's got 5 innings pitched today already. Pitched the 8th and 9th innings for Argentina in the game against Japan. And Bishop, quick hands, fouls that off. Emil Mata got the start for Argentina, went 7 strong, 14 strikeouts. Gave way We were a little surprised when they made the change for the 8th, but Godoy comes on and shuts the door. And Bishop, just a little tardy on that one, fouls it off, run it up even at 2-2.
No, I think the way Argentina has worked that battery of Mata and Godoy is the right way to do it. You came in assuming you were going to play twice, and I assume if Godoy gets into trouble, Mata will be there to step in.
Swing, foul ball, in and out of the glove of Migliavaca. As Tikarhui Bishop tries to jumpstart this offense. Vincent Harris had a single in the second. He's on deck. 4, 5, 6 hitters here in the 4th. Off speed, great pitch. Down on strikes goes Bishop. Second time today he struck out.
Good time to pull the string there, and that was a good changeup from Godoy.
So leadoff man retired, always a good thing for the defense. Brings Vincent Harris to the plate. Strike one to the corner. Lance, this is a different team than we saw yesterday in Argentina. More in control and more methodical like we're used to seeing. As Harris, a running start, on to second in time at first. Nifty flip 4-3. But yesterday they just looked off balance and New Zealand came out strong. Johnston striking out the first 6 he saw yesterday. But today they come out, score first in the first inning, just like they had all week.
And I think that's attributed to the fact that they had a game prior to this game to sort of get comfortable. There was a big crowd for that game as well, so certainly no change there. And they know they're coming up against a lot of the New Zealand supporters, but when you got your comfort zone, you're in a lead right now and coming off a big win. Right now, Argentina looks awfully tough.
Manacartea swings and misses to run it at 1-1. And we talked about off the top about would we see a letdown from Argentina after the big win in the semifinal. We didn't. They carried the offense right over, and just as if the inning continued from the Japan game, they scored 2 quick runs in the first. Back to the mound, under the glove, a chance for Manacartea, but right behind them, Ortolado to fire on to first, and up and down quietly they go. No runs, no hits, no men left. After 4, 2-0 in favor of Argentina. Back with you here in Whitehorse. It's been a great 10 days of partnership between the crew from Ballpark Radio, Kyle Smith, Lance Wynn, Joe Todd, and Jim Flanagan, joining Superpower forces with Sports Canada TV. As that one under the glove of a diving Manacartea. So a leadoff single for Ortolado.
And Kyle, sometimes when you are coming off a good defensive play, you feel good going up to the plate, and jumping on that first pitch was Ortolado. And that was the start that Argentina was looking for.
Called for a strike. And Picare tagged by Drage on the way by.
Well, he certainly got the job done in advancing the runner. So Argentina now potentially playing for some insurance.
Up to second moves Ortolado. As Angelillo hit by a pitch scored a run and struck out in the third. Sends that one in play. Evans lets it ride up his arm and all hands will be safe.
Well, there's an example of being just a little bit too casual on the play. Now you saw it's a soft roller. You got to at least take 2 steps in and take that ball and go and get it instead of allowing it to play you. Now you're in a bit of trouble here with runners on the corners.
Can't give Argentina extra outs we've seen this week. So Migliavaca now 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. Opener misses for ball 1.
And if you're Argentina, this is the guy you want up at the plate.
Off into second goes Angelillo. Indifference puts him there.
Well, Kyle, New Zealand needs to be careful here. Argentina can put together a few runs, and just like that in the blink of an eye.
A different game than we saw yesterday from New Zealand, as Argentina has made it more methodical and at a slower pace than what the Kiwis would like to play it at. So 2 runners on. Second and third, Ortolado and Angelillo. Roller. Radford will check on to first. So get Migliavaca for the first time today. And 2 down in the inning.
Big out there for New Zealand. If Migliavaca is able to punch a hit, that's potentially 2 runs, and now you're down 4 instead. You're still trailing by 2 and only 1 out to get here, but you got to get through Facundo Carril.
Carril 0 for 2, so the guy you'd like to see up here, as he has not looked comfortable in the gold medal game. Swing and a miss for strike 1. As the sun appears here in Whitehorse to end our week. And fouls it off. So 0-2. Radford trying to get out of this pickle he's put himself in. No help with the air on Evans. And time called as Carril wants to talk with his coach.
Well, I'm sure Evans would love to dodge this bullet here. Again, when you talk about the caliber of this Argentinian team, extra outs are something you do not want to give them.
So Carril gets his instructions, his point made. 0-2 count. And a 2 bouncer. On one knee, Evans up to first. End the inning. Leave those 2 runners on. No runs. A hit, an error. And the 2 left. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Still 2-0 for Argentina. Bottom of 5 we go. Saw Thomas Macchia speak with the home plate umpire, Scott McLaren, in between innings. We'll have to keep our eye out for a change, as that one will get fouled off. Godoy misses for ball 1. 10 days of competition have led us to this point. It's 2-0 in favor of Argentina as we get later in the ball game. And Gerard just flicks the wrist at that one. Out goes Suarez in the back pedal, and he'll maintain control. And a hug for his efforts from his compadres.
That is a tough grab, as a bit of a turn the wrong way, but a good recovery from Suarez. Tough to get any help from either Piquet or Kirill, as that ball was popped and would have landed in no man's land.
So Connor Peden now will come to the plate. He flew out back in the 3rd inning and now takes for strike 1. Fouls that off. Oh, 2 bouncer gloved up by Godoy, on to first for the second out.
And those are tough ones. That's when you know things aren't going your way. You hit a hard one-hopper, snagged nicely by Godoy, and he makes it look easy. So it looks like there'll be a pinch hitter, Kyle.
Tijuana Aranui, as he takes for a strike. And we know that Tijuana's team back in New Zealand, the Ramblers, have been following very closely, watching on the big screen at the clubhouse.
We, of course, want to apologize to the clubhouse. We had technical difficulties yesterday. They weren't able to catch the last couple of innings of that big win.
That, of course, due to the power surge we had here in the ballpark from the main supply. As the count runs to 2-1. Aranui trying to jumpstart the Junior Black Sox. Bouncer up the middle. He'll do just that with a single, and will bring the top of the order to the plate in Callum Elson.
Be a good time here for a 2-out rally for the Junior Black Sox. If they can just get something going here, they could get back in this ball game and potentially take the momentum away from Argentina.
2 down in the inning. Elson 1 for 2. And taking for strike 1. Callum had a single back in the 3rd. New Zealand trying to change the pace of this ball game. Gets underneath that. He'll send that up, out towards Carrillo. He'll be under it and make the grab for out number 3. Strand that single, no runs, a hit, and 1 left. And we'll send things down field level. Still 2-0 in favor of Argentina. And Adrian South. Take it away, Adrian.
All right, guys, thank you. I'm joined by Jay Selu from Team Australia. Not quite where you wanted to end up, but what are your thoughts on the tournament so far?
Well, the tournament overall was, it was a great tournament. We got a lot out of it, especially since we forced ourselves into a hole where we had to fight our way back. So every game for us was a grand final after the first couple losses. And it's hard, like, being eliminated from the tournament, but not much you can do about it now. Just come out to support the teams in the grand final.
What are some of the key positive things that you're going to take away from this and be proud of as a team?
Well, definitely that, we've come out to support our fans. Like, our fans have come a long way to help us out, along with some of our younger boys that have come to develop. And just, I don't know, I guess individual, like, milestones that people have achieved, like for myself with my pitching, and some of our other players who weren't originally in our starting 9 that have played their way into it. So, yeah, just little goals that people have achieved along the way.
And anything to say to anyone watching back home in Australia?
Yeah, just everyone at home watching, thank you. Your support's been great. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this game because it's going to be a close one.
All right, well, thank you very much for this. I will send things back to Lance and Kyle in the broadcast booth.
Thanks a lot, Adrian. As we move into the top half of the 6th, very gracious is Jay Silu. He had a good week for Team Australia. Struggled at the front end, but picked his socks up, and with the back up against the wall, he threw his heart out, pitched a gem against Team USA, and then just didn't have it yesterday against Team Japan.
Well, I think the entire team started off slow, so certainly nothing to point at Salu about. He certainly did his job, and he ended up being the mainstay in the circle for the Aussies down the stretch. So congratulations to him, and really congratulations to Australia. 4th place in the world is certainly nothing to snub your nose at.
So leading things off, it's Roman Godoy here in the 6th. Still 2-0 for Argentina. Blake Radford into his 4th inning of work.
And you can see with that swing that Godoy is feeling pretty okay. He's dug in deep in that batter's box, and not that he ever gets cheated, but he looks very comfortable in there right now against Radford.
Blake will work, and that one gets fouled off. You know, we've talked all week about playing ahead. Argentina is probably the best team here this week who's played ahead of teams. They score early, and then they play a methodical game with you, wearing you down with pitches. And when you've got a 1-2 combination like Godoy and Mata, it makes it a lot easier. But a stark contrast to yesterday, it was New Zealand who struck first and wound the watch and played the high tempo. Definitely not how Argentina wanted it to go. Down the line and foul. Keep the count at 3-2.
I think you're right, Kyle. There's a certain amount of comfort to holding a lead, but you have to be able to do that, as we've seen through some of the lower tier teams, that holding on to leads, you just can't do it. These guys, though, in Argentina, they seem to have perfected it this week.
And ball 4. So leadoff walk for Roman Godoy. Himio Mata will come to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. The big bats haven't done it for Argentina. It was a single by Piquer, the hit batter of Angiolillo. Single by Migliavaca drove in a run, and Roman Godoy on a sac fly, driving in the 2 runs this afternoon in the grand final. The gold medal game at the 10th ISF Junior Men's. There's a shot for Mata. On out into right field, just up 60 feet for Godoy.
Mata's seeing the ball well.
That one takes a big hop off of the dirt that's been rutted up over at first base with the base runners pushing off.
That did look like it hit that divot out there. May have slowed it up a bit. Not that it was going to find its way past Vincent Harris, but
something to be aware of on rollers and bouncers.
Well,
and there's Mata smoothing things out.
Now, really, Mata should have probably left that and let the infielder, as in Suarez, when he comes out, smooth it out. You leave it rough for the opposition, and then you smooth it out on D.
Not sure. Julio Gamarches. Think a pinch runner might appear. Haven't seen anybody come out.
Well, I don't know if he made the change before he actually told the pinch runner that he was running. Or maybe not.
Well, that's Godoy at second. They've taken the change. Or is that Godoy at second?
That's Godoy at second, and it's Mata at first.
Now we're going to call a pause to the action. I was going to say, I thought I heard 70 out. And Metaboje down to send the runner out. There we go.
Well, we were wondering about that. Looks like it'll be Julian Fernandez. Lest we forget, Fernandez, one of the pitchers on this Argentinian team, him and Franco Gini. And they've thrown the ball well this week also. But of course, with Mata and Godoy, that's got to be your 1-2 punch coming down the stretch.
So Masmu 0 for 2, but 2 deep flies here this afternoon. First pitch, he'll foul off. Of course, it was Masmu who put this Argentine squad in the finals with the walk-off home run. Aranui stays in the ballgame for defense at third, replacing Maddox Rice. Just below the knees for ball one. Top half of the sixth. Radford into the dirt for ball two. 2-1. Early has all of a sudden become late here, Lance. In the blink of an eye, it seems we're now finding ourselves in the sixth. Just a few minutes ago, we were in the second, it seems.
Well, just 6 outs to get if you're Argentina. So there's a light at the end of their tunnel.
And ball three. 3-1. Should Radford need to be lifted, it's likely to be Eru Drage who comes on in relief. Drage currently at first base, as you see there on your screen at home. And Masmu fouls that one off. So the count runs now 3-2, Lance, and Radford slowing the pace down, which I think works in the favor of Argentina and how they play their game.
Well, right now Argentina's in the driver's seat. So as far as they're concerned.
Masmu lifts that up on a line, falls in for a base hit. Harris got to bring the play to the plate. Bouncer, not in time, and across comes Fernandez.
Big hit from Masmu. He continues to get the clutch hit when needed. And that run is going to go a long way to adding to that comfort zone that Argentina is currently in. So leadoff walk comes back to bite them.
So make it now 3-0 in favor of Argentina. And Zapata 1 for 2 today. Called for a strike. Well, one pitch. Ball misses, even it up at 1-1. And Lance, you talk about a worldwide audience on the internet. 25 different countries currently tuned into the ball game. Think about Guatemala, Malaysia, Ecuador, and Singapore tuning us in here on Sunday afternoon, all the way up in Whitehorse, Yukon at the 10th ISF Junior Men's. It's been our privilege to bring them to you. Glad we could join forces with Sports Canada TV.
I think the fact that those are countries not even on the list here.
And a throwdown. Double clutch did Peden, and up to second will move Masmu. While 3 of the 4 not even represented. Of course, Singapore was here, became the darlings of the tournament, if you will.
Well, when you've got 25 countries and there are 10 here, 3 of those on the list are not, then I have to say that people are definitely enjoying this softball around the globe.
So conversation on the mound between the infield of the Black Sox. Runners on second and third. It's Masmu at 2 and Emil Mata over at third base. Zapata standing at the plate, trying to extend this insurance with the 2 runners on. Now time going to be called as we encroach on just 12 seconds remaining on the pitch clock. Little flip of the wrist, falls in for a base hit. Little Texas leaguer. 1 run in, 2 run, coming in. And he'll score, does Masmu. And up to second goes Matias Zapata with a 2 RBI single. Make it 5-0 now in favor of Argentina.
And I think it's just an example of one team being hot, having played a ball game, another team a little stagnant, had a lot of time to think about the importance of this game and what was on the line here. And unfortunately, it's for the Black Sox. You've got a red-hot Argentinian team that they're continuing to keep the foot on the gas, and now you're trailing by 5 runs, and boy, oh boy, it's going to be a huge mountain to climb.
Well, you said it right as Jared Martin comes out of the dugout to talk with his troops. Everybody involved in that conversation, outfielders included.
Well, I think it's important and a good coaching move. He understands these are still young men and you still have a chance. You still have 6 outs to work with. So you never throw in the towel because anything can happen.
Radford. That pitch goes to the outside for a ball.
I don't think Radford really has a lot of zip here today.
Trying to hit his spots, and he's come to the plate a few too many times. That last one by Zapata, he just flicked it out into no man's land. Drove in those 2 runs to make it 5-0 Argentina. 2-0. As looks as though Ethan Johnston's starting to warm again. And that one goes foul.
Well, you know you're not really in the position you want to be when you've got your starter who's been taken out in the bullpen warming up again. He certainly did his job yesterday and the carryover to today.
Just didn't have it today. Ethan Johnson, as they scored 2 runs early. And that might just carry the day here. Just this insurance runs now in the 6th inning.
Well, I think if you allow 1 insurance run, you're only trailing by 3, but allowing those other 2 to make it 5-0 really hurt New Zealand.
So the count 3-1 and ball 4. Down goes Ortolado to first base.
And again, a couple more runs here, and you could be looking at, instead of being down to your final 6 outs, you could cut that in half and only have 3 to work with.
And Thomas Macchia now emerges from the dugout. So you have to think, Lance, that this might be it for Blake Radford, as Macchia now to the mound.
Well, he's not really fooling any of the hitters, that's for sure. And it's been a while, and you don't necessarily tally the strikeouts, but that's certainly a factor.
And that will be it, Lance, as Ethan Johnston will come on back to the mound.
And I expect to see Johnston come back in and throw a whole lot of changeups is what I would expect. But you can't fault anyone. I think you just ran into a team that was hot. They're coming off a very emotional win. They've got the momentum, and they just picked up where they left off here. You allow them to score a couple early, and again, they only built on that. Their defense has been flawless, and they've played the way that a defending champion should.
Now pitching. Way down outside. Outside. In the middle arm. Number 1, Ethan Johnston.
So I think the strategy throughout the week for New Zealand has definitely paid off to get them in this position. You win the 1-2 game, and you allow yourself that extra bit of rest. And I think that maybe that extra bit of rest, as helpful as it may have been for New Zealand physically, I think that Argentina, on this kind of cool afternoon, I think they benefit from playing a game before.
No, I think you're right. And the opener from Johnston, quick one for a ball. So runners on first and second. And to the top of the order with Piquet. Takes for ball 2.
So 3 runs across already and nobody out, Kyle. That certainly doesn't bode well for New Zealand.
And foul that one off. Maybe did Johnson a favor to take that one off the bat. So 2-1. And ball 3. So the count runs to 3-1 as Johnson on in relief after he started, was relieved, now back in the ball game. Still doesn't look like he's got his best stuff here today, Lance. And Piquet slashes that foul.
Well, again, I haven't seen that changeup of his, the changeup that was also impressive all week. Seems like he's kind of lost it. Was in his back pocket, but he hasn't reached back in there for quite some time.
And that one gets lifted up. Infield fly rule applied, and one down in the inning. So Liguan Angelillo will come to the plate with one down. Hit by a pitch, scored a run in the first, reached on an error in the fifth, and struck out in the third. And he goes up to get that one, fouls it off.
Angelillo sure likes those rise balls.
He can't get enough of them. Misses for ball one. 1-1. And a roller foul. So the count 1-2.
I think it's safe to say, Kyle, that we've dodged a lot of the rain that was forecast in the area today. And only fitting. 54 games, and we are in the midst of game 54.
Called. Strike three. Down goes Angelillo for the second out.
Well, I like the way he looks down at the third base coach as though there's something he could do about it.
So Migliavaca now comes to the plate. Singled twice, grounded out in the fifth inning. But you're right, Lance. We have had picture-perfect weather for a 10-day period. Every game started on time. No rain delays, no slowdowns. And a strike to the corner. Just even a handful of extra inning ball games this week. We had a good one in the semifinal. Now a 5-0 lead for Argentina for the gold medal. Fisted off. Falls in for a base hit. Bishop comes up with it. And a run comes in to score as Zapata makes it 6-0 for Argentina.
And not a whole lot you're going to be able to do when you're able to fist the ball out for an RBI single. Things are definitely going your way. Not a bad pitch from Johnston, just a better hit from Migliavaca. And he's been a real thorn in the New Zealand side here with 3 hits in this ball game.
And that one punched out to center. Carry the wall and say bye-bye baseball. A 3-run shot for Facundo Carrillo. Make this a 9-0 ball game. And you can see the dejection of the New Zealand Black Sox as a couple of the players take a knee.
Well, just momentum, it's a funny thing, but a lot of times it is the determining factor. And that's the case as Carrillo 0 for 3 until he got the arms out. And I'm still not sure why we haven't seen that changeup too much from Johnston, but right now with a 9-0 deficit, I think the task at hand when New Zealand finally gets his third out will be to try and push across a couple of runs to extend this and give themselves 3 more outs, because right now they only have 3 left.
Connor Peden talking with Scott McLaren about the placement of the foot, but Godoy's right on the line as he re-enters the ball game. And foul that one off.
Godoy started this thing off with a leadoff walk, and it was downhill from there for New Zealand.
Time called now. As they will now re-enter Roman Godoy. That could have gone sideways. That pitch will miss to run it at 1-1. Kind of anticlimactic, Lance, when you look at the score and how we had the build-up from yesterday and the build-up in the semifinal.
Well,
But it's the way the game goes sometimes.
You're absolutely right. And what are you going to do? I mean, this is the third time these two teams are facing each other. Of course, New Zealand shut out Argentina. Surprisingly, Argentina comes back. And looky what we have here.
Called strike 3 as Godoy looks at it go by. So Argentina push 7 runs across the plate on 5 hits. No errors and nobody left. So we're 3 outs away from a repeat for Argentina as they flirt with the run rule as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning on Sports Canada TV. So outs for runs, Lance, here in the 6th inning as Argentina 3 outs from a repeat champion.
And that would be quite a feat considering. And the question was whether or not they could bounce back. Well, they've proven that they can bounce back. You win a tough ball game like they did against Japan. And you get through that and you figure, you know what? We got to the game we wanted to. They just relaxed and rolled on.
And foul that one off so quickly, 0-2. You look back to that Japan game as Argentina hits the walk-off home run. That could have been a Japan victory just as easy as an Argentina victory. Great play by Ortolato in the 8th inning to stab a line shot to save a run. And then, of course, it was the walk-off home run by Gonzalo Masmu to win that game 3-1. Now have put 9 runs on the New Zealand Junior Black Sox, the Temper Zone Junior Black Sox, as the count runs to 2-2. Cole Evans at the plate for New Zealand, trying to just extend this ball game. And there's a pop fly. Back goes Piquer. He'll make the grab. 1 down in the inning. 2 away from a title.
Argentina closing in. And you can tell the way they whip it around this infield that they can see the light at the end of that tunnel. And Godoy is all business.
Swing, but a good squeeze by Migliavaca for strike 1.
And you look at New Zealand, if you take a look at the card, your number 3 and number 4 hitters, Drage 0 for 2 with a strikeout, Bishop 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So getting that.
He'll lift that up on the left side, diving for it, but not catching was Zapata. Run the count now at 1-2.
I think if New Zealand gets a little bit more out of Drage, a little more out of Bishop, and that's not to take away from Bishop's defense. That's been extremely good. But he's been lacking at the plate, and that's given Argentina an advantage.
And the rise ball a miss. Just 3 hits to this point, given up by Roman Godoy. Now 2-2. Ball 3 as Drage takes a stride to the mound and a smile from Godoy. So it's full now at 3-2.
Gotta like hitters, some hitters who think that you're not allowed to pitch inside.
And a roller. Godoy with it. Throws it away down the line. Drage gonna turn and look to 2. Sliding in there feet first. Throw it away again. And the stop sign keeps Eru Drage up at second as Godoy airmails Mata at first. So maybe a little life here for Team New Zealand as Bradley Bennett now will check into the ball game to pinch hit. He subs in for Tikarui Bishop, who is 0 for 2 today. And a strike called. Most of the times we've seen pinch hitters come on, they've rewarded their coach for putting them in the game with a base hit. Would be a big one here for New Zealand. Swing and a miss. And up to third rolls Eru Drage.
Well, sure, tough situation though for Bradley Bennett. Coming in here and facing Roman Godoy, who clearly has found a rhythm. So nothing easy here.
Oh, 2 count. Swing and a miss. On the rise, Bennett goes chasing, comes up empty. 2 down in the inning and a runner at third.
And you could just kind of see that develop, only because Bennett was a little late on the first swing, and you saw Godoy in the way he is. He was wasting no time, going right at the hitter.
So the big boy, Fraser McLaren, will pinch hit for Vincent Harris.
I think maybe a change, 1 for 2 for Vincent Harris, but probably a little more pop in the bat of Fraser McLaren.
And a strike at the knees. Trying to just extend this ball game here down to their last out, down to their last 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. The inside drop, McLaren over top of, and the count now 0-2. And a roller. Foul ball on the left side. Not go quietly do the supporters of the Temper Zone Junior Black Sox, trying to push Fraser McLaren just a little further, extend this inning to Dante Matacartia. Swing and a miss, and Team Argentina, they repeat as World Junior Champions. After suffering the loss in the 1-2 page playoff, they walk it off in the semifinals, and they put up a big 9-0 win against Team New Zealand, and with them, the title.
And it was very impressive and done in impressive fashion. You talk about a team that was tested. They suffered their first loss of the tournament in yesterday's 1-2 game. We asked, could they bounce back? how would they react? They outlast Japan, get a big walk-off home run from Gonzalo Masmu, and they ride that right into the final. And I really believe that that game against Japan was the stepping stone and allowed them the comfort and to get warmed up and into game time shape, ready to go. And I think that was their advantage against and over New Zealand today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Lance. We talked about how do they turn it around, and not just the 9-game win streak, but really and truly 18 games in a row before they suffered that loss yesterday. So they hadn't tasted defeat in 2 years, this junior squad, as they come on and turn things around. They bounce back, win a hard-fought ball game against Team Japan that, quite frankly, we talked about during the game, could have gone the way of Team Japan. But Argentina just the better, and they show it here in the final game, the 9-0 win. And they played their game today. They didn't bend to the pressure of New Zealand. They slowed the pace down, and they just hung runs on Team New Zealand very quickly. 2-0 in the first, took New Zealand out of their comfort zone, and then scored the 7 in the 6th.
No, and that was really the way it went down, and you have to tip your hat, and you also tip your hat to New Zealand. The strategy that they used to find their way to take first place and be sitting waiting for someone to sort of rise up and play them in the final. I think that you got to give them and their coaching staff some credit. Argentina, I think the tandem of Godoy and Mata were the best in the tournament, and I think that they rode that yesterday and today, and that to me was the difference. And hence a 9-0 win and back-to-back championships for Argentina.
Well, stingy to say the least, this pitching staff of Argentina, as Team New Zealand comes to tip their caps to the White Horse faithful that have come out, and in particular, of course, their New Zealand supporters that traveled with them, as we wait for Adrian South to grab the post-game interview. Of course, we'll have the coverage of the award ceremony and the closing ceremonies from Whitehorse. But Lance, a week that, quite frankly, seemed like forever ago when we started, featured lots of great action, lots of pitching performances, a no-hitter earlier on this week, extra innings, a walk-off home run, walk-off game-ending catches at the wall. You know, and we said off the top, an inch in the Japan game, and we might still be playing as it goes off the glove of Shimpei in center field.
And to use an old cliche, sometimes it is a game of inches, and that was the case. But you have to look at that. Fantastic ball, world-class tournament, played at a world-class level by world-class teams, world-class coaching. The umpiring, also world-class. The fans in Whitehorse, world-class, of course. And I think that if this ever comes around again, I don't think I'd miss it no matter what, Kyle.
Well, the Whitehorse faithful, they're going to get rewarded. This is the third time 2 juniors and a senior women's. 2017, the big boys come to town here in Whitehorse, senior men's, after the 2015 senior men's in Saskatoon. Just waiting to get Adrian South to grab her interview for the post-game show as we wind things down. But Lance, a week that we've had fun here in Whitehorse. Long way from home, but this feels like home sometimes, and we've got a great staff on hand with us here from Sports Canada TV. It's been an absolute joy to work with each and every one of them here in the booth. You, my broadcast partner, it's been fun to sit here and call the games with Joe and Jim as well. We made the trip, 13 days ago it seems. We landed in town, and not too long after that we found ourselves here in the broadcast booth, pinned down for 10 days. And the ultimate goal, the gold medal, it goes to Argentina. Looks like Adrian's got Jose Gamarchi with her down field level. Let's send it down there real quick and get the thoughts. Adrian?
Okay.
I am joined by Argentina's head coach, Julio Gamarchi. World champions once again, how do you feel?
How can I feel? I mean, it's amusing to me. The feeling is so it's so deep that I barely can talk to you. When I have to thank my family and the family of all of these kids that support us all the time to get these kids training every day from 18 months, so they deserve it. But I really deeply feel the tournament in a special way.
What helped you? How did you get the win here today?
Just being ourselves, no more than that. The guys played like they can. They did everything they know. This is not casualty. This is the way they play. So that's why I'm so happy.
Well, congratulations. Anything else to say to anyone watching back home?
It's lo hicimos de nuevo, Lo hicimos de nuevo.
Congratulations. I will send things back to Kyle and Lance in the broadcast booth.
Thanks a lot, Adrian. Great job down there. And you just see the emotions flowing over from Julio Gamarche. Repeat as junior champs. And for one last time, we say a cap tip to New Zealand, a hard-fought tournament. They come back, win the 1-2 page playoff. They just come up short here against Argentina. Argentina, the dominating pitching performance of Huemio Mata and Roman Godoy. We've got a great staff up here. We just want to say thanks to everybody here from Sports Canada TV. Of course, Choyle Brown, Kat Britton, Adam Donnelly, Carmen Ma, Randy Strickland, Victor Wong, Jazz here, Jillian Landrigan, Harmon Ojala, Forrest Mann, and of course our reporter down on the sidelines, Adrian South. It has been our privilege to work with each and every one of you for the last 10 days to bring this world coverage around the world. 25 countries watching this grand final. Put it in perspective, there were just 10 here. There is one champ. For Lance Wynn, Joe Todd, Jim Flanagan, I'm Kyle Smith. So long from the Yukon.